Today we came to hook up with a collared date-shaped needle wrist bag. The package as a whole is spliced by the production of 5 colors. The one that is now used is the 5 Valley Milk Cotton. The crochet is used in a crochet with a 3.0 mm. First, the 2 body parts are hooked up with the same method. When it comes to the crochet, we are the first to start with a blue sheet of paper, then horizontal hooked weave orange yellow, straw green milky white, then go on the hook for the second row. It's from the grass green, blue orange yellow army green hook for third piece of milk. White, straw green, blue and orange yellow and yellow. And then continue to hook up the bag with the parts. First of all, we take out the blue line. Lock the needle with a needle, and it's on the finger. Play a ring in a ring. The crochet needle penetrates into a few needle rings. Then there's the hook for the 17 braid needles. After 17 braid needles are hooked up to the end, we went on to hook up the hook for 12. 3 and 3. Then hook the needle with 3 braid needles. Then the crochet winding returns to the penultimate 6th needle. 123 45 45 on a day. This one is the 6th in the countdown. For us in the 6th pin of the countdown, we're in the penultimate 6th pin small braid. The center of the center is wearing the needle outward. Just provoke the half of the line from the outside. Bring out one of the coils. And then pull this coil up a little bit longer. And then this one is one of our unaccomplished mid-length needles. Then the crochet wire wound up in the same hole I. Continue to hook up 2 more long needles that have not been completed. Crochet wire winding disposable, pull out all coils on the crochet needle. In this way we are hooked up to a date-shaped pin, and then to hook up with a braid needle. Then the crochet wire winding still wears back to us. In the same hole. Hook up again with a date-shaped needle. The undone medium length needle one at a time. The undone medium length needle is twice as long as it is. Undone mid-length needle 3 times crochet wire winding disposable. Drag out all the coils on the crochet hook. And then you hook up one more. The braid needle is a little sewy, one of the, this wheat ears. The flower type we have, and we just hook up. And then the crochet wire wound up. We skip over a 23 or so. Skip the 3 pinches. Come to the 4th point of the needle. The crochet runs into the end of the 4th needle. It's the same thing. Hook up with a wheat ear flower type. We first hooked up with a date-shaped needle 3 times. Date-shaped needle formed by the unfinished medium-long needle. And then hook up for a single one. Crochet a short pin in the middle, when it's in the middle. A braid pin for a long shot. Then the crochet winding is still worn back into the eye of the needle. Crochet 3 undone mid-length needle crochet wire winding. A disposable pull out of all the coils on the crochet hook. And then to hook up with a braid needle. So the 2 wheat tassel models we're hooked up to. The crochet wire winding skips over a 23. Skip 3 stitches, and don't hook up to the 4th pin. The purpose of in the 4th subtip of the subtitles. The hook is on a wheat in the ear flower type. So the 3 wheat tassel models we're hooked up to. It's the same thing in the back. Skipping the 12th 3 pin is not hooking up in the 4th pinhole. A wheat in the ear flower type. The 4th one. The wheat ear flower type crochet is a good one. Then there's a braid needle that goes on. The first row is that of the 4 wheat tassel models. We can see the view of at the end of the day we still have 2 pinches left. We skip a needle in a single one. The aim is not ticking at the end of this needle. It's also the one that ticks the mark to make the mark. The mesh is hooked up to a medium-long needle. The hook method of the medium-long needle. Everybody learn a bit about the crochet wire winding through. The last knit in a single knit. Bring out one of the coils. And then the crochet wire wound up. All the coils on the hook needle are towed once and for all. This one is the hook of the mid-length needle. And then we hooked up to a 23. A crochet of 3 braid needles in a crochet. Turn the loom over and over and over. We started to hook up the second lap. On the second lap we hook up the needle winding. It's also the continuation of the hook, this wheat ear flower type. This wheat ear flower type, we are from these 2 wheat ears. Wearing the needle in the middle of the flower type. To be ahead of the hook for the hook. A date-shaped needle in a form of. Just hook up with a date-shaped needle in the first place. At the end of a braid. Then the same government affairs constitute another date administration. Such a wheat ear flower type, we just hook up. The place where this wheat tassel ends up in the end. Let's not forget to hook up a braid needle. Then we go through the second of the wheat ears. In the middle of this gap, in the middle of the. It's in the midst of this gap. The hook is out for a second wheat ear flower type. A braid and a pin connection. Next, we'll take 2 of the remaining 2 sets of wheat ear flower type hooks are finished. After 4 wheat ears have been hooked up to the other, we crochet wound up in this 3 braid needle, and inside this gap between the date-shaped needles, threading into this place to hook up a medium length. Then we have a 23 or so 3 braid needles. Turn the paper sheet over and over and over. We're just going to repeat the operation. Now I'm the hook for 2 rows of tricks. Our figure is cross, it's 4 sets of wheat ears. Count the number of. We're going to have to check out the 8. And then the 1, that ticked out was a square 1. Then we'll just go on and on and on. The dog. And then the. It's the way it's supposed to be. And then we're going to have to be if this grain. If this grain comes to the hook, so we're going to be real in this place. To make this blue line is horizontal. And then take the needle from this corner of it. And then bring into a line of orange color. Brought into the line of the second color of the second. We have a 77 and a braid needle width. 23, 23, 45, 67. 78, 78, 100, 112. 44, 44, 15, 16 in the first of the 17. After 17 braid needles are up and up. We come back at 23, come back 3 braid needles and us. Just now this one is actually ticking the same way. Then the crochet wound returns to the penultimate 6th pin. Inside the inside. Hook up with a wheat ear flower type. Then skip 3 stitches, and don't hook up. Come to the middle of the 4th set of needles. Hook up with a slow-year-old flower type. A braid pin for a long shot. Next, continue to hook up the 2 sets of wheat tassel models. Then go on the hook for a month. After the hook is finished, it will be. Here is the direct coming to us to see this. The last one, this blue part. This gap in the first wheat ear, the first wheat ear. Here's a turn, and go in there. Hook up a needle, to pull out a needle. Hook up a loop with a single coil. Pull it straight into the more than 1 coils. This one is a draw-out pin. After a pull-out pin is hooked up to the hook. We hooked up to a 23 for the first time. A crochet of 3 braid needles and a crochet. And then turn the sheet of paper over. After flipping this, flip over and over and over. Our winding is still the same as it was before. It's just in the heart of this wheat ear. The hook is made of 4 sets of wheat ears. A braid needle connection to the crochet flesh wire winding. Come to the second set of central hooks. The second set of the There's also a braid needle that's on the. After 4 sets of wheat ear pattern hooks are finished, we crochet wound up in this standing ovation. 3 standing needles in this first one of the wheat ears. This gap between the guide pins is provoked to hook the weave. 1 in a long time. Hook up a medium length pin for a long shot. Then go on the hook for a 23. A crochet of 3 braid needles and a crochet. Turn the sheet of paper over the. After the flip we hook up the needle winding. Keep it going. constitutes the 4 sets of the wheat ear figure. Four sets of wheat ears to be hooked up, and after that, we hooked up a braid with a braid thread. At this gap, at the end of between the 3 levels of needle and the date-shaped needle, the gap is hooked up to a medium long pin. Then take the crochet to the second styling of the second blue. The gap in the middle of the needle is hooked up with a drawing pin. Then hooked up to a 23/3 braid needle. Turn the sheet of paper over We continue to follow the same approach as we do hook loom 4 sets of wheat ear flower type. So, after we hook up, here's what's going on here. By the time you get to the first view here, and right after that, we in the 4th blue wheat ear center rhyme. After the screw is done, let's just hook up the 2 needles first, and then get into this gap at this corner. Constitutes a drawing of a needle in the form of A. And then to hook up with a braid needle, turn the line in a straight line. After flipping, we continue to hook up the hook. A normal hook for a normal one. Textured out of 4 sets of wheat tassel models. Wow! At the end of the day, the end. Check out one of the leading pins. And then cut the line and cut it. This is the one that has been so crosswalk. We're just going to be in a good arrangement. That crossed the line, and I'm hooked on it. We can pull this one up and down this way. For a moment, they're in the shape of this green. Then we'll change the green line to hook up the 3rd piece, and there's going to be some different splicing methods for the 2nd piece. Because they're the opposite of the lines between the 2 pieces. It's this orange, and this one, it's what it is. The grain is a vertical one that is upright. So our next piece of the green is this one. And it's this thread that's just crossed the line. Then when it's cross, we'll move on to it. This part of the orange color, this part of let it be so vertical like this. Or is it from the most corner of this needle, mother needle? Bring into a line that is green. The line that is brought into the green. This thread is slightly reserved for a little bit longer. And then a little longer stays a little longer. And then we hooked up to a 23. We can see here that there is a 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a total of 8 holes in it. We line the line to the next one of the little pinches. Hook up a date-shaped needle in this needle mesh. A braid pin for a long shot. A date-shaped needle in a form of a braid pin for a long shot. And then we skip a single one of come to the next one in a vacuum. Hook up with a guide pin for a guide pin. And you become connected again and again and again. Skip a needle without a needle with a needle winding. Enough to be in the middle of the next needle. Hook up the hook for a date-shaped needle. To constitute a wheat ear flower needle, which is A. In the electronic city of a braid pin connection skips over a pin No. Hook up in the middle of the last pinhole. Hook up one by one. The date-shaped needle. One person with a hand in a braid. And then we have at the end of the day, in this argument, hook up a medium long pin for a long time. And then we ended up in the first row. So that's the end of the first row. And then we hooked up to a 23. 3 suede needles hooked up to the hook. Turn this flap over to the other side. And then continue the crochet wheat ear flower needle. Continue to hook up the 7 lines of the wheat ear flower needle. After we have a white sheet of paper hooked up to it, we then went up to the top to hook up. We can see that our first row of crochet is finished. Above it is green, blue, orange, yellow, and this military green. Then we use this green line to hook up with this. Then the first one of our second row. Then we're going to have to go on top of this one. Then we have this grain, and it's blue. The lines are in the shape of a cross. Then we have this green grain that is upright. And then wearing a pin from this position. Bring in a single line to come in. Take one of the lines to come in. And then the hook goes on. 12. 3, followed by a crochet of 3 changing subneedles. The hook for the crochet wire. Come to the middle of the next set of needles. Hook a mako with a wheat ear flower fork. A braid pin for a long shot. A braid needle followed by skipping a needle and not hooking up. In the midst of the next needle. Placement of a wheat ear flower needle is arranged in A. It's not enough to skip a shot. At the end of the third of the needle, the next letter is hooked up to one with a broken flower pin. I don't want to. Your electronic box is on the way up. Come in and skip a short while. Add to that a real dream again. Check out a single one of the. What about all those makeup? You. A braid needle hook needle winding continues on this big hole. The inside hooks weave out of a medium long pin. 3 braid needles for the electronic crochet. After the braid needle, after the quantum wire flips over and over. We go to the hook together according to the back of it. 4 sets of Ney snowflake needles in each row of crochet. The first piece of the second row of the green one we've got hooked up to. And then we came to hook up the second piece. We can just be there and try it out. That's it, it's the number, it's a vertical one. And then we go from this place. If we start hooking up, just as well, it will also be the grain of the upright. Then there's no way to compose the lines that cross that way. If you want to cross the hook, it's there's no way to get it done on the positive side. We need to flip to the opposite of it. Turn over to the reverse side. In this position, the position is in this position. All the way through. The line for the change of the blue. Bring the blue line in and out of the way. Come on, everybody. And then we start to hook up from this position. Get hooked on the first one 23 at 23. Just hook up with 3 little braid needles first. Then the crochet winding comes to the next needle. It's not known that a wheat ear is blossoming. Then skip a while, not enough to skip a while. Swing to the middle of the next play. Check out 3 of the 3 wheat pinches. It's just to skip a needle and not row enough to the next one. It's all about a third of the wheat ears. More than a needle is not enough to be in the midst of the last one of the pinches. Hook up with a wheat ear flower needle. A braid pin for a long shot. And then we were, like, before we were with us. The taking method is pretty much the same. We're just connected to this one of his, this one. Orange this row, the center of this wheat ear needle. The center of the first wheat ear penetrates the hook to a draw-out pin. Then there's the hook for the hook. 2, 3 braid needles to turn the sheet of paper over. Turn the line in a straight line. And then we go to the back continues to hook up those flower needles. Get into our hook for a third piece of the way. The method of this third piece, and the way this one of the first piece of the way. The hook-up method is actually the same thing. From this position in the position of the 3 standing arches for the crochet hook. Then the crochet winding comes to the front of a pinhole. The date-shaped needle. And then we're here to hook up the 44 little itineraries. It is possible to see this wheat ear of our orange color. This wheat ear flow is set to take a good place. We have pulled it out to the side. The blue first wheat ear flowers in the middle of this gap. Hook up the needle and pull the needle. And then the 3 braid needles. 2 pieces flipped over the other. And then there's the crochet hook that goes on and continues. The hook for the 8th row is, after, the first. 3 out of 3, and just after the end. We'll just keep on hooking up again. The 4th one. Just take a look at the positive first. Just hook up to the back, and go for it. Hook up to the back and go. Then turn over and turn over. And then hide in what color the piece of paper is in. Now I'm wearing a line that is green. I'll take it from here on out. And then you wear the needle. Stick to this line of green to the right. Inside of this part of the wheat ear. And we'll just be able to go and wear it a few times more. That's it. This way along this mako this wheat ear. The 8 words of the word. This way to wear a thread like this. So much so to wear it a few times. We can see neither the traces of the line won't be easy to fall off either. And then we can see where we are. It's just after the hook is finished. The first line of the first lap of our body. This ticking method is even connected to the hook to weave a. It's a long check. Was connected to a 23 45 45 78 78 900 900 piece. It's on one of the next, we're on the side. The connection of the sheet in the body of the body. I look at it, and I'm all positive now. We need to turn them all over the back of them. Turn over to the back to come up. The back is also a bit more of the side of the line head. Turn over to the back of it all the way up. And then turn our side piece to the back as well. The back is sewn on the back to the back. Then we go in the middle of the next pinhole. Then the corresponding penetration of the blue between the blue. In the middle of the next hole in the next one. 2 to wear together in one go. And then the line doesn't pull too tight. It has to be a bit more. It has to be a bit more. This one in the middle of this formation, this braid. The length has to be a little bigger than that. And then keep on going up and down a piece. And we take out. Keep on going up to the next one. Cover the cover of the. And then when we tick the needle like that. To hook up the loose sum of the pines. And then it was after hooking up to almost the middle position. And we'll just be able to. It all can be. It's that the front and back aren't a lot of a needle. This crossbar is a little more than a needle. We'll just be able to jump over it in the past. It's just not enough to get a shot at this one. And then we go out of this hole. And then this is the. Look, go in there, then that's fine. It is the equivalent of a reduction of a needle. There is no. Don't pull too tight, and it's too tight. Well, it's not enough at this length. It's going to crumple up into this. It has to be a little bit more loose. It will be a little bit loose. After the completion of the first branch, we just came to the second piece of paper. Here. The second piece of paper starts with this project. Corresponds to the first battle in the back. The crochet also sends a needle. This one is the one that is hooked up. Well, hook up to this side. We'll find out that this side is the back row. So there will be one more on this side. And then we'll just have to. We can just skip this gap when it comes to crochet. And then came to the eye of the needle. And then the pin, that corresponds to the back. There are quite a few. That way I would be the equivalent of skipping a needle. And then get in the middle of the last positive code again. I have it in and then we are the one who come to the next production of the film. Go deeper into its first hole with a white production. And then go deeper into the back. The hole in the hole. The crochet that was written on it. And then we can just be the back ear. Just get in the middle of the way and I can hop on this one. It's not enough to skip this one. And you see that between the one and the. See this pin on the front and skip it. There's this gap in the middle of the way. Well, that's a measure of that. We'll just be split up for a minute. Take a look at 3 of the 3. It's the one that basically can't see the line. It's basically no side of the line. So we're able to stitch in a dark little bit of color. And then we turn around, and we turn around. Transferred to the position of the bottom of the bag. The high bottom position we are the same way to go. It's also about making a 1-to-1 trip to the hook. Yes. The tightness of our pull in the pin needle. It is to make this straight line flat. Don't get frowned on the. Take control of this strength. Then we'll continue to coincide with the next one. We take this part of the rest of the way. It's all going to be sewn up too. The stitching is good. And then there's the other piece of the production. The same way of coinciding, the same thing is the same. The method of the Yellow River is the same as well. And then otherwise, let me just come to work and get it done.